but...
All right, by the way, we're in pre-roll.
Okay, we are pretty
Saws on the head.
Poor guy.
Saws on the head.
Alright, we should get more beer before we get into
We should.
Galaxy Games Con.
You're up. Grab some beer, but I love this idea.
Let's get sued con.
I guess we have to probably do the Babs Light.
No. Find something that's not Pabst Light or air.
I can run upstairs, I suppose.
No, we're in pre-roll.
We got some,
Yeah, they did it because they're not that. They're
no, that's,
They would not have that.
they've got, what do you call it? Yeah, they got
cherry style.
Well, they got, not pop cherries. They got, apple switches. But it's pretty heavy to do that, so.
No, they are actually not that for it.
Yeah, those are actually, I love, well, arcade's like a game brand, so.
Yeah, it's interesting they design it.
Arcade's gonna be one of the, it's one of those
Okay.
companies that does.
Ah,
Oh God.
There we
We
go.
got Christmas in a bottle.
He got a selection.
Which Christmas?
because it was either
10 years ago Christmas.
It was Brewdog's NA,
Yeah, I drink no
or
fucking
it
NA.
was
Oops, gotta watch my language.
it was either the Brewdog NA or Pabst Lights.
Well, if you grab that, then I'm grabbing this. All right.
I feel like I took one for the team.
Oh, you did.
Oh, it's a
You're
god.
man.
Yeah, that one I grabbed for me in case
Not
I
long.
Start with a
here.
long drink.
He did start with a long drink.
Because
he
He
went,
drinks like a
he
good.
went with the alcohol.
this I grabbed. He said,
All right.
"It's a trap."
All right. Hey, we should probably start this fast.
Yeah, we're only gonna do
Oh no.
Oh, I bet I'm not going to be surprised anybody.
Live from the 6th up floor base of the Guys, Games, and Beer Towers, it's the Guys, Games, and Beer Show.
Yeah!
Man, that was special.
Bringing the enthusiasm every week
Hey, I
for well over 11 years.
Yeah! Enthusiasm over
Maybe 12
nothing.
now. It's over 12 years.
All right.
We've been
Well, it's still over 11. Do you not know math?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay.
Somebody at MGC asked me, well, how do you keep a podcast going for
You
like
just
over
keep
a
doing
decade?
it?
And I said, we have no expectations whatsoever.
Thank
we don't
you.
make goals.
Yeah.
There's
Thank
no
you.
goals in our podcast.
Yeah.
We don't have like a chart that
And
says, oh, we're doing so good.
Yeah. I mean,
We have how many beers do we drink?
And I tell you what, episode 1 might have been great. Episode 46, maybe not so great. Maybe episode 200 was super great. And
But probably
and,
not.
and people that watch probably have a favorite.
They
probably do.
Yeah.
We've had some.
Probably that first one where it looked like there was hope.
That wasn't televised.
The Lars
They
Pyramid.
couldn't see how beautiful.
Yeah, that's true.
How young we were.
As
There are pictures
podcasts go, there's ups and downs,
We're mostly down, you know.
but yet we are consistent.
Thank you.
We are consistent.
Putting that weekly sequel out every week.
Yeah. Speaking of sequels,
Yeah.
Rob,
Yeah, today's topic is
you're the king of segue.
that's a good segue.
I didn't even realize.
It
that
wasn't
this
like
was
one of
a
those
segue.
scooters either. That was like
he,
a true
he slipped
segue.
it to you with no grief, and you still
I mean,
didn't
we're-
feel it.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
I mean,
that.
we're ruining it right now, but you know,
Hey, that's consistency right there.
consistency is what you get.
Ryan's still
Guys,
waking
get some
up.
beer.
I did not realize that he had segued that well until you hit it out of the park. I was like, oh wait, well done there.
That was the French version. That was the segue. What you want to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about best games in the series. We're going to talk about game series and our favorite out of the series. It could be a good series, could be a bad series, could be something you never heard of. But
You know, sometimes bad game series have one gem in them that you have to find.
yeah, Call of Duty, for example.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, some of them were long, some of them were shorter.
Yeah.
And, but there's definitely favorites
Oh yeah.
in just about everyone. So,
Most definitely. Most definitely.
If you're on Twitch right now, you're just catching the beginning of this. Sorry about that, but I forget about you guys a lot. You
Isn't
know,
it funny how Call of Duty, how Call of Duty, the
We're
Gears
never
of
gonna get
War,
rated that way.
the Gears of War
Never.
DLC that was put out was longer than the newest campaign for Call of Duty.
I'm okay with a short campaign if it's good. Like I loved, which one was it?
Sorry, I
It
don't.
was one of the first modern ones. It was one of the first more modern ones, and it actually had a great storyline. It was only like 10 hours long.
10 hours I'm
Sure.
okay with.
Yeah.
One that's 4 to 6 hours.
I don't
The
know.
fuck am I playing?
Ah.
I wasn't ready to talk about Call of Duty.
Okay, so,
No.
Yeah, that's just a
who wants
single.
to open this mess up?
You know, I'll give it. I'll work it as an example.
All right, work it as an example.
Yeah. So, and I'll preface. One of the I've played all three, to some extent, and one of them I got through, maybe about halfway. One of them I couldn't go through the opening sequence hardly.
Wow.
And it was abandoned early.
Wow.
And the other one I completely completed.
That was that good.
Yeah.
All right.
And somehow it just worked. So
But they're all the same
The-
series. You think, oh,
they're
hey,
all the
same.
same series. So it was Fable.
Oh.
Fable series.
Fable, yes.
Which one of the ones did you play?
So Fable 2 I completed.
That's interesting.
And it just somehow worked, right? You know, there's a lot of similar game mechanics between the three,
Right.
and there is similar ideas. You know, that you can play the character, your character develops, you can develop the character. So evil or
what's-
angel status.
Was Fable? I've played all the Fables, but I'm forgetting. Was Fable 2 the one where you started as poor and you got the wish, or was it you started as a prince and you?
Not a prince.
Okay, so it was the poor and you were a wish.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
so
That
so
doesn't
the
match.
first one you start as you're a kid.
Yeah.
You're like a teenager or maybe even like 12 or something like that. And the second one you're an adult.
Okay.
And then the third one is the characters from the character from the first one is your parents.
Yeah.
And they are royalty because they won, you know,
Yeah.
and they're royalty, and so now and so and that was kind of my problem with the third one is I didn't really enjoy that aspect of
I felt there was more.
management of the kingdom kind of stuff, you know.
I felt
and-
there was more customization and whatnot you could do in the second one.
And that may be, and the storyline, it just was really hard for me to get into it at that point. And the first one, I didn't really attach. I was an old guy when I played them all, so you know, in my 40s, 50s, and so I didn't really identify with the teenager. You know, and it kind of had teenager type stuff, you know, like
Yeah, it did.
like the way it talked and stuff like that, or the way the dialogue was and stuff
I
like
didn't
that.
like the first one.
And I did not care for it, but I really gave it a college try, and got about halfway through it, and then I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. You know? But I played them out of order too.
Oh.
Fable 2 was the first one I played.
That's a good one.
And then I went back and played Fable 1 because I enjoyed Fable 2 so much. So I went back to Fable 1 and was like, I'm really going to try hard on this. And I just could not.
Sometimes too, like
just-
it didn't get the mechanics together. You know that happens.
And I just didn't care for it. It just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't really make sense. I think I really just didn't identify with a teenager. right? It was just really tough to get.
Yeah.
And I was super excited. So I basically played Fable 1, anticipating Fable 3 coming out, because I had loved Fable 2 so fucking much.
Yeah. But the thing that I feel is easier to attach yourself in Fable 2
Yeah.
is that in Fable 2, you go through, you start as a kid, you go to a teen, and then you become an adult. There are 3 parts to it. The first 2 parts go by really quickly.
Yeah.
Really quickly, being kid, teenager, adult. First 2 parts real quickly, but then, and you play the whole rest of the game as an adult.
Yeah, I don't even remember those first 2 parts.
You know what?
That is how much those go by quickly. And then by Fable 3, I'm like, okay, I'm super excited about it. And they had even talked about, the creators of it. I think it was Lions. They had a big, thing, and I think they're out of UK. And they had a big thing, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna add this mechanic that depending on how you played the Fable 2, it's gonna use your save game and incorporate it into this, and that's how your starting kingdom's gonna be and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, this is really cool. And then I started playing it, and it was just like, it just felt sloggy.
It felt like BioShock Infinite, where you have the illusion of choices making something, but really the only choice that you're making are, do you want to be glowy yellow and be good, or do you want to be glowy red and be evil? Didn't really feel like didn't feel like your choices actually made a
Fable
difference.
2 was just so fucking fun.
Yeah.
What was it that sold it on you? What that made it that much better than the other 2?
I don't know. I mean, and maybe if I had gotten further along, there was weird mechanics in the game that were like, okay, you could have relationships and you can marry someone,
Right.
but you're traveling all around, so you could have families in other towns.
Right.
and
So you can marry a
stuff.
lot of people.
I
You could, but it's possible they could find out on each other.
Ah, well.
Yeah,
and that
it
was
is-
kind of fun
It
too.
is possible, but yet, because I was a teen when I did this, I married a person in each different city.
Yeah.
And then once they found out about the other person, I would take the person that found out and confronted me to the evil lair and sacrifice
Hey, go check on
them,
the
dog.
so that way I
Yeah,
could
okay.
get the ultimate
Alright.
evil
So-
sword. Because you could only do that if you
So-
sacrificed someone that
Right.
you were in love with.
I graduated the game with a halo,
Ah.
so I did not do said things.
I wanted to
I
get
have trouble
I wanted
being evil.
to. I wanted to get the most powerful weapon because supposedly it was like, hey, you can literally do this and be like all these.
I mean, by the end of
Horrible.
the game, I was a god anyways,
Yeah.
you know? Like, there was absolutely nothing that could stop me, but, I was like, but it actually, the game, end of the game, I was like, oh, it's over. Oh. It was, because, and they're like, and the way the game ends, 2, ends, probably not a spoiler alert,
It's an old game,
is
probably
that it's a 20-year-old game, right? You give whatever, I forget what it is, a little
It's a little music
crystal or box or whatever, right? To the goddess or whatever, and she runs off and is like, this is great, and says the world is yours. You can do whatever you want. And there's still side quests and stuff, but you're just so overmatched to everything that you can't.
Yeah.
It's and it was like suddenly the world felt empty.
Ah.
You know,
And
like,
that's where it
I
gets
owned
restarted.
everything because you could purchase like property and stuff like that. By that point, I'd owned everything, and it was just like, this sucks. But that was the end of the game, so I respect it's the end of the game. So
Right.
I completed it. Right?
Yeah.
And but I don't know, the other ones just didn't build the same, and it just didn't have the same feel. And,
Right. Mechanics are the same, but the storytelling's not as good. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really wasn't getting into the. That's checking on the dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Rob
Check in on the
Yeah,
dog.
Rob went to check check on the dog.
The biggest
Jesus.
thing, the biggest thing I think on the third one
Couldn't deal with what
was
we had.
I just couldn't get into royal court stuff.
Yeah.
And that was like the whole opening was
Wait, are we talking about
you were
pirates? Are we
kids.
dancing?
You were
Wait.
kids of the royal family. You know the one you just played in 2, and it was just wasn't very good. It just was so hard to get into.
No, it was meant to make you feel like supposed to feel like you're actually making things happen, but yet only one option actually makes things happen that has a consequence. Everything else doesn't have a consequence in those.
Did they make each of the games for like each version of Xbox? The first one was on 1, right?
Yeah, and they also made it for the
Original.
PC. That's where I played it.
And then 2 was 360, I think.
Yeah.
So I think I played the first one all the way through. And like when I got the second one, I was like, oh, it's gonna take so long to play this game.
I mean, it did take a minute. I put a lot of hours into it, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. Even the
But
action,
knowing that it's
even the chopping of the wood. Because there was lots of
Chopping of
a
That's
common
my
way to make
favorite.
money in the game is
Yeah.
to take jobs, and they're
jobs,
basically
that's
mini
right,
games.
Yeah.
Oh.
I got
So
really
maybe
good.
something
At,
I might have to pick up again.
I got really good at the blacksmithing one.
Yeah, I remember blacksmith.
I got really.
I
good.
prefer to chop wood though. Hey, you know what? It still works
Yeah.
as I would. I'm not as much a metalsmith, but I can really work in wood. You know, yeah.
Oh, we know it, Larry.
Crazy.
Yeah, who says it wasn't crazy?
Crazy. Crazy.
All right, who wants to go next?
Ah, sure. Well,
That's already
this
okay.
made me really have to think, because there are 2 series that I really actually do enjoy: Dragon Age and the BioShock. And I went, okay, which one of those 2
I like the way
do
you said it
enjoy?
like my grandma. The Bioshock. I like
Oh,
how you
The
said
Bioshock.
hey, you playing the Bioshock? Go
At
ahead,
least
sorry.
you didn't go the Bioshock and like those uppity Ohio people.
And I had to figure out, okay, I have one that I like out of each of them, but yet Dragon Age is the one that I've put the most time in for the series, and I actually am conflicted on 2 games, because currently Veilguard Out is really fun, and it gives you so many different ways to go about different things, because you can have different factions and answer things with different race options,
So is that
different
4?
faction options. Technically, it's 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Technically, it's Dragon Age
All right,
4.
never played it.
But yet, my first one, my
bit new
favorite
for me.
out of the series, has to be Dragon Age
The
Origins.
Yeah, Origins. Up there.
I see. You know, it's in many ways. I could have done Dragon Age also as on
Dragon
this
Age-
topic.
Origin, because you had, I think it was like, at least, you had 3 different classes, you had 3 different races, and you had 9 different openings, which you could do effectively each different one. And they all,
That's super quality downloadable content.
yeah.
Seriously, it's like
Seriously.
a whole lot, it's like 12-hour downloadable content. It's like a whole nother story.
Larry, it is 13 hours and 45 minutes.
Okay.
You can tell how much I've played Dragon Age, especially Dragon Age Origins. I played a lot of it. And you can really just change things up and do different things. Hell, inside, you could become different. You had your main race, but then or your main class, but then you could become different classes, and you could like spec yourself into being half this class and half that class, and just be like, hi, I am going to be a dwarven fighter that is focused mainly in champions, so that way I have armor up the wazoo and my endurance is high, but also going to be in Berserker, so that way I can just go, hi, I'm going to fuck your shit.
Okay, so Origin, which was very story driven.
Yes.
So you're talking about the different classes, but it was still very story driven.
Story driven.
But
All
what
of
turned
them.
you off on 2 and 3? I'm gonna say.
Are we considering Awakening to be?
No, that's part of Dragon Age
Okay,
1.
well, some people consider it to be its own separate thing because it is.
Yeah, I mean it's a massive.
It is 13 hours and 45 minutes
Yeah, I know.
of DLC.
Massive. But no, I'm just gonna say that's part of part of 1. It's part of the charm of 1.
Okay. Yeah, it truly is.
Mm.
2 really only felt like they're going, hey, we're giving you another thing into another way, and we're gonna lock you in just this one area, and all you can be is this person.
No.
Okay, where's my,
Too much like real life.
Well, so you
can choose to be a different race, but you are this person. You are Hawk. Or Hawks. You are
Yeah.
just this
Yeah,
person.
I get it. I
Whereas,
get what you're saying.
yes, the other games, like Veilguard, you are
I mean,
considered...
I was just like Larry.
You
in
are-
Dragon Age.
You are Rook, but yet
Very.
they give you... In Veilguard, you are Rook, but you are able to have yourself have whatever name you want to have in there, so that way you can actually give your character name, but yet they have a nickname of being Rook.
Yeah.
Whereas 2, you were Hawk. You did not get to choose your name.
Do that, Pesco.
I think Veilguard's probably the one I played the most.
And
Do it?
it
It's
was
cheap.
very much like you can wander around
Very
the
tall.
city, but yet you're not going really
My
anywhere.
problem-
No, that's
You're going
incorrect.
into like
Sorry.
little dungeony type things,
See, no.
and it felt very much a conflict of, oh, are you going to side with the Templars or are you going to side with the mages?
That was
There-
my problem with the series. So you had the third party Blight
Yeah.
and that was the focus of 1. And then when you got to 2 and 3, it was all about Templar, Chantry, all that stuff, and it was all that dynamics, and it just was
Well-
like, I didn't care for that storyline.
Inquisition is 3.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think Inquisition's what I played. I was wrong.
Inquisition-
Sorry.
you can
Sorry,
go
sorry.
all over the place and do so many things because it is you
I was never big into it. So.
trying to gather support.
I just don't like the fight
To
between
deal
the
with the
Chantry
big-
and the whole
Yeah, that
apostate and all that.
that was the big thing that I hated. They tried to throw in the Kunari Antam as this is actually the big
I
problem.
prefer demons coming from underneath.
Oh,
And I was just like, okay,
that's
yes,
good.
yes, the Kunari and the Antam are a problem,
You know,
but
like
also
Pacific Rim.
you're still not. You're trying to be like, hey, look, it's not actually about Templars and apostates and mages. It's actually about this now. And I'm like, no, it's not. It still is this. You're just going, looky over here while I slap you with my dick from the other way.
Well, at least they didn't pull a Far Cry and make it about feelings.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you totally that
Two
Dragon Age 1 is the best Dragon Age.
2, I feel you need to play so that way you can feel like you've actually known why.
You need to suffer through 2.
Yes, you need to play 1 so that way you can get the gloriousness. Suffer through 2 to realize why they fucked up, and then realize
you know
why
what?
they went the direction they did for
it's-
Inquisition and Veilguard.
You know what's funny? So I played Dragon Age and Awakening, Dragon Age 1 and Origins and Awakening. Played through 2 because
You had
Origin
to.
was so good, and I
That was on the Mac.
just only did the opening to Inquisition. And said, "The hell with it."
Inquisition is much better. Inquisition is leagues better than 2. If we wanted to talk about
And my
Games
favorite
in a
girlfriend
series.
just goes on a weird tangent.
If you want to talk about shittiest games in the series, oh, I could talk about Dragon Age 2 for hours.
She goes on a weird tangent. Because you kind of have girlfriend, boyfriends and stuff in Dragon Age.
The neat thing is in Veilguard, everyone is pan. That's the best way of putting it. Everyone's pan in
Dragon Age 2 is the
Veilguard.
other one on the map.
Well, Dragon Age 1, you can, you know what's considered the perfect game?
What?
When you slept with all characters and they all still like you.
Just like real life.
I
I failed miserably.
the only
I got half of it.
The only thing that I liked about 2 that I played was that I could actually have a threesome in that game.
Yeah.
Well, there's a nice addition to the game mechanics.
You
had
know, then
You had to
you
do
go
some.
dark.
You had to do some, funky game mechanics to be like, okay, I have to say this to this person at this time, and this to this person at this time.
And give one of them a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Well, you have to give one of them a knife.
Oh.
That doesn't sound good.
It sounds so good, but
She's
in
a
reality,
pirate.
you're just dealing
It's
with two women
foreplay.
yelling at you.
Yeah.
Or if you're a woman, 2 men yelling at you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not it's not a sex related. It's not a gender related thing.
I
It's just
did it,
human nature.
and this seems really shitty, but I honestly did it just for the achievement because I wanted an achievement.
You
Want
want that
achievement, man.
Hey, I was still on my kick back then of all the Dragon Ages. I wanted every single achievement, and I was going to do it even if the game I thought was shit.
All right.
Is that on Steam?
I think I've gone long
Were you
enough.
playing on Steam or Xbox?
I was
actually
playing it
playing-
on PlayStation.
If I
PlayStation.
play Dragon Age again, it's been a long time.
So that was a
Well, see, this is why we do these shows.
you got
You,
a
you might go back and
not an achievement. You got a
Trophy.
A trophy.
Trophy.
Yeah.
I could still call them achievements.
Yeah.
A
I have a
standard
weird.
All right,
thing, I have
so
a weird thing that
Origins
I
is it.
Origins, because you could do so many
It was
different
so well
things,
done.
and you could flip flop if you wanted to change stuff. You could change and be like, maybe I'm actually not doing very well as a spell sword.
I'll change it up.
I'm gonna change it up and then go.
Never did that. I was such a fucking good spellcaster. Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I decided because my first playthrough, one of my playthroughs that I was really good at just being like, hi, I'm going to be champion so that way I can't be knocked down and I have ridiculous armor stats, but I'm also then going to spec myself into having a shit ton of endurance so that way I take Berserker and just go, hi, you can't do anything to me and now I'm going to wreck you with my Berserker and just come through and just smack, slash, and just start. I have a build that I have to do each first time I play Dragon Age, which is what I refer to as the mage sitter. Because I walk up to a mage and I hit them with my shield and I pretty much go, sit down.
Okay.
The mage stands back up and I said, did I tell you you could stand? Because the mages in the game can't throw spells if they're on the ground.
Nope. No, they can't. They got to be upright. So.
And what's so good? I can just keep knocking you the fuck down.
I don't ever get close enough and just go.
Yeah, well, range weapons are good. All right. Anybody want to go next? Otherwise, I will.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna jump back a little bit. So,
Oh yeah.
we played D&D a lot when we were younger.
And D&D.
And
D&D.
So when SSI managed to actually get the contract to do
Hope you appreciated that.
a
Dan.
licensed D&D, and SSI was making great games at the time.
Oh.
So they started out with the Forgotten Realms series. Ed Greenwood had done this whole thing, Forgotten Realms, for the actual physical D&D. And actually, we've met Ed. Did we interview him on the show? For some reason, I think we had him on the show. But he had done this whole Forgotten Realms series for the actual tabletop D&D, and SSI, just got the rights to do it, and they ramped up their department immensely, and put out Pool of Radiance. Again, graphically, if you looked at it nowadays, you'd go, oh, okay. But for a D&D player who's been doing
Are you
tabletop,
calling this in the D&D series?
yeah, it's part of the Gold Box series, the Forgotten Realm.
So you're,
box.
talking, you're just talking the D&D series.
For SSI D&D series. So SSI strategic simulations too.
Stimulation.
Strategic simulations are important.
Stimulation.
Yes, strategic simulations. They had always done great work. They had started in the board game arena and went into the computer game arena and produced some really good computer games. So they did a whole series called the Forgotten Realms series, which was based on the actual world created by Ed. They nailed it. I mean, the feel was good. And oddly enough, Pool of Radiance, I would say, much as I hate to say it, was the high point. The mechanics got better as the games went on, and the graphics even improved a little bit, not a whole lot. You got more character choices, more weapons options as the games went on. But Pool of Radiance, because the graphics weren't as good and the gameplay was a little more limited, they really focused on the story and telling it right and the feel for that particular.
And that's where it sometimes hits, is going, are you not able to make the graphics look great? Okay, then give me good story.
Thank you.
You know, the problem or the complexness of anybody doing a D&D thing like that is it's a tabletop game that is individually tailored across thousands of tables. And how you play D&D, I play D&D, and he plays D&D might be completely fucking different. You know?
Well,
Well, you notice like
flavor and
over the
ideas.
years, those extra things that used to be in like things like Forgotten Realms, like the ability to like roll for, just like having other options other than just hack and slash, they've fallen off.
Well, but that was the problem with the whole Forgotten Realm series. They started out with that, and as they improved the game mechanics and the graphics, they became more hack and slash.
Yeah.
And so the games, by the time they got to the third in the series, Secrets of the Silver Blade, something like that, Silver Blade, something.
Yeah, I believe that's it.
It had kind of dropped off, and it was kind of basically a hack and slash game by that point. It was still D&D, but it was hack and slash D&D. There were no puzzles. There was very little storytelling. Yeah, if you read the booklet that came with it, it gave all the background. And if you're familiar with the Forgotten Realms world, if you'd done any of the paper adventures, you probably knew all the backstory.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, dude. So literally, Pool of Radiance came out in what, '88?
Yeah.
So and then
Forgotten Realms. I don't remember.
You don't remember the Forgotten?
Oh, really?
I forgot.
Oh, I have the Apple II GS, so like that was like one of the games that was available.
Of course.
The 4 games
So,
for which came out.
yeah,
every
exactly.
One came out every year.
Year. 88, 89, 90, 91.
Oh, so they were pumping them out one a year. Well,
The SSI one.
You know,
Okay, yeah.
it's interesting, and I don't think I played that, which I would be kind of interested in doing.
Going back and checking them out.
Huh? You know,
For
Baldur's Gate is considered the spiritual successor.
It is, yeah.
Baldur's Gate, both of the Baldur's Gates for the PlayStation 2 were both excellent.
Well, again, and like Rob said, those are kind of
And
where that pick they kind of pick up where these games.
We kind of came back to it.
D&D
Three.
for the Xbox was quite good. So those are the three that I most think
In television, D&D is the best.
I gave it a good shot at the record, the retro rank.
You gotta read that whole damn manual.
The fact they tried to put D&D out on it on television is impressive. in its
And
own
you know
right.
what? Spiritually wise, they did a pretty decent job. And the reason, so your party is 4,
Right.
and it moves around. And when you get killed, someone in your party gets killed.
Yeah.
So you have 4 lives because that's the number of people in your party.
Right.
You know, it's
No, they
and
for
you
what
pick
for
up
they,
stuff,
they,
and
they,
you know,
they tried. They tried.
I
On the
kind of
television?
respect
on
it.
the Intellivision.
Yeah, I cut her.
I thought you said an arrow. No?
What?
Is there more to it than I
There
don't
is
remember?
more to it.
Yeah, there's definitely more.
Yeah, but these
It's kind of respectful. Like I feel like they've maxed out, What was it you
What's
could do on
possible?
a television?
and again, there weren't. It's not like there weren't D&D style games before SSI did this. There were a whole bunch of them.
No, but there's been a ton of D&D games, and most of them I don't get into.
Right.
Right?
In all
you know,
honesty,
Baldur's Gate was very successful.
Right.
It somehow hit the sweet spot, and
Go back and
you
check
know.
out the SSI games.
But-
SSI,
SSI made a lot of great.
they were really good at doing this stuff.
D&D for me. D&D on the Xbox.
Yeah, was perfect.
Yeah, it just
No,
it just made sense. Just
Now,
worked. It
Did
just
you get
was,
in that? I was looking at Neverwinter Nights. Did you
No, I
get
didn't-
that?
I didn't-
That
I-
was the online one.
That was the online one. I didn't get into that. So I was playing. By the time these had come out, I owned my Amiga, so I was already playing these on the Amiga.
Yeah, I was kind of making sure where you had the PC versions, you had the Amiga versions.
Right. There were, and it came out like Rob said. He was playing it on the 2C. It came out for the C64.
Hey, GS, man,
Cool-
not the 2C. I was an animal.
the GS. You had the cool app.
That wasn't an animal.
Right.
Cool apple had
They
the five
came.
games.
It came out for
D&D
That
on the
was
Big
the-
20 song.
That was the other thing about the beauty of. Hey, there was actually some good D&D games. They weren't called D&D, but there were some good D&D like games for the Vic 20. Temple of Epshire
Yeah.
was actually brilliant. Thank you.
I think we're gonna have to cut that one because it's gonna cut into another topic.
Okay, well, I won't go any further with that.
But
But
that's in there.
but
That game was one of the best damn adventure games I've ever played.
it was, yeah. I consider what they were
the
running.
first time you play it.
Yeah. But SSI had gotten it right, and this was just a credit to SSI. They knew how to do those kind of games. They had been doing board games
So
like this forever.
here's the challenge. So what's the name of the game again?
Pool of Radiance. To me, is the best in the
Pool of
series.
Radiance.
It's the Forgotten Realms series. Now, they,
And what system would it be played on? So if I was
C64, Amiga,
C64,
Apple.
okay.
What other systems?
pretty
You
pretty
should
common.
definitely play the Amiga version.
Okay,
I'm sure
so-
Atari has.
so,
yeah.
okay.
Did they actually
And-
just release one called the Gold Box as well? They had all
They call it the Gold Box. You get all of the series in there.
Okay.
That's
Pretty
the
much-
entire Forgotten
Yeah,
Realms
it went all the way
series.
to NES
Okay,
and
so
Genesis. I don't know.
Pool
To
of
what?
Radiance.
The NES and the Genesis.
Really? Okay.
Apparently.
Do you think
Where they really sucked, I'm guessing.
it would
You'd want
hold
the
up?
PC version.
Yes, I do. I think you could play Pool of Radiance on it today, and in fact, you can buy like he was just saying. They have what's called the Gold Box series, where you can buy all.
Yeah, that's for nostalgic people. But are you saying that, like, if I bought it new, I'd be like, oh, okay, all right,
Yeah,
I get it.
I think you would.
Okay.
I really do. Now, if you're expecting amazing graphics, no.
It's 1988, and it
Yeah.
was specifically a D&D type game. It weren't-
Correct.
It wasn't a.
Did they do? It was a
It was
lot
basically taking your
Is
tabletop
it
and
basically
displaying it
like,
on the
yeah.
screen.
Is it basically like this and then a lot of pictures?
No, and there's some pictures in it, but it's mainly a top-down game.
Oh, okay.
So it literally is like taking your paper drawings on the table and putting them up on the screen.
Yeah. Okay.
So it at the time it played like you would play D&D, and like
But
I
I
said,
can't attach a skull to a rope
No.
and throw it at my enemy.
exactly, you're not doing that kind of
No.
stuff.
No, it's not Zork.
You're right. But again,
You can do weird shit in D&D.
it played exceptionally well. It followed the D&D series rules fairly well at that point. And like I said, the beauty of Pool of Radiance is it was more story based and less hack and slash based. Which again, the series to me, as each successive one came out, by 3 it's almost pure hack and slash. You kind of lost all that. I mean, not that there weren't stories and stuff, but it really was a fighting game at that point. So so
Alright.
they dropped off for me fairly
I
quickly.
mean, there's only approximately 5,000 million D&D games. so-
Well, yes, but this was I would say
Approximately.
I would say this was one of the it's definitely some of the earliest true
Dungeons and
D-
Dragons
true
Tactics
D,
being the
true,
best.
true D&D games that came out for computers. Again, you gotta remember this.
Wait, what?
What was it?
Is that
88.
Yeah.
88 through 91.
88. So it started in 88. So you gotta remember this is kind of the beginning of home computing, if you will.
PSP.
And they just did a great job. They really, again, to me,
Oh yeah. And here's the other thing. You could transfer your players from the first game to Pool of Radiance.
right.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. From Pool of
Pool of
Radiance
Radiance
to
to-
Azure Bonds.
Right, exactly.
But that damn disc you
Curse
had
of
to
the
buy
Azure
to
Bonds
play
was
it.
not bad either.
Yeah.
That would be my second choice, but that is the second game of the series. By the time, like I said, you got to the third, they just kind of lost. They were beginning to lose the feel of it. I think they were dumbing it down, if you will. Again, game mechanics got
For
better,
the audience.
graphics got better, but you're right. I think they were dumbing it down for the audience, and that was the problem.
Well, they were monitoring clicks, and as the
yeah,
people were going through the story,
1989, yeah.
everyone was just doing.
Black.
Next, continue. All right, so that's mine. And again, but that all being said, if you
Like I do with JRPGs.
if you do get a chance and you want to go back and check out some of the early D&D games in computer games, check out the Gold Box series. You can buy the whole series. It's called the Gold Box series nowadays. You can still buy it, and it's available for
I
multiple
bet you
systems.
GOG has it probably, right?
Probably.
Or any of those
But
other.
tell me
Yeah.
about this other one.
Huh? D&D Tactics for the
Yeah.
PSP.
Really?
Yeah, I played
The
that.
tactics game for the PSP.
Yeah, it was okay.
I
It
think
was
I
very
wanna play
popular
that.
for a while. It's a great game. I think I got it sitting upstairs.
It won't be as good as this, I'm sure. but
Nothing is. Well, it's a tactics game, so you're basically just trying to get through a bunch of.
It's a completely different
scenarios.
element.
Yeah, it's a different element.
All right.
Element.
Who wants to go
It's
next?
like when chess is just a little too boring.
Correct.
Can I get some hate?
Yeah!
Oh, wait, let's
I mean,
let's see what you bring up.
Might spawn some So, gaming for a long time. You guys have done some really in-depth, lots of hour games. Story-driven. And I was looking at games that I played multiple games of and enjoyed.
Sure.
And 2021 Metroid Dread came out for the Switch, and it felt like it did everything that I wanted to see in a newer Metroid game, but taking advantage of what we originally started with and kind of brought it to playing it now, handheld. They had handheld. I'm sorry.
It improved.
I feel like they improved it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people would say Super Metroid's the best, or the original's the best, or something like that. But I really enjoyed that one. That was probably one of the first ones that I'd come home at night and be like,
And actually pick your Switch up.
I have to play this thing, and it had a lot of on-screen and portable game playing at the time, and it's the good old collect the missiles, collect the power-ups, collect the whatevers, and
I'll
I
save
just
you the
really
hate.
enjoyed.
I played no Metro, really.
No Metroids, huh?
Yeah.
Forgotten Realms is available on Steam. Just hit.
Okay.
Just
So yeah,
so
mine
then
doesn't
all
bring
the
a
hate
lot.
can come my way.
Yeah, I mean, some people would be like, "Oh, it's
you
just one of
clearly
those."
played that.
It's one of those, and I think a little bit had to do with when they went to GameCube, they went away from we want games to be first-person shooter version,
Right,
and they
right,
found the
yeah.
Prime series, which was pretty cool too, but it was a different type of first-person shooter. I felt than the typical ones that were out there. There was then a whole investigating
side-scroller.
things and stuff like that, and Dread brought it back to side-scrolling, and what the 3DS had a couple, I think, Fusion, but it was that one I think was a remake of Game Boy or Game Boy Advance one, a Fusion, sorry, than 3DS, whatever it was. Like the 3DS was kind of like a remake.
I only played one Metroid game, and it was the old school side scroller, and I went, I like this.
Yeah. So
Well-
Dread just kind of gave you that new, taking advantage of the new technology to give you something that still feels new and fresh.
It's not a
but
wuss
also
game either.
gives a lot of respect to the original game. I
I,
felt.
You know what's funny? It almost is a topic to itself. So side scroller version of the same series in first person.
That's a good
It's
topic.
as a versus, right? There's
Yeah.
been lots of flipping back and forth between, and in a lot of series, right?
Yeah.
So Paper Mario, the actual, the side scroller paper, and it had this weird mechanic because it could do in 3D.
Yeah.
It was kind of super cool, and I really liked it. But I really didn't get into Mario 64, and it was 3D and all that. It was like first person.
Oh, the Mario. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
like-
it's so that's kind of an
See,
interesting topic to itself, but that's a side thing.
I liked Mario
Yeah.
64, but yet I love Paper Mario, but yet the Paper Mario, Origami King, and the ones sticker.
Yeah, they had a couple other.
Yeah,
I forget what
I'm
the
just
other
like-
ones are.
Okay, they tried something new here. Good, because trying something new is where we come up with new things. and better stuff. But also, they decided to take
No, there's
combat
all three for
and make it hay, especially with the sticker one. That one I fucking hate. Is because they went, hey, your combat, you can only do stuff by using stickers.
Oh.
You don't have a basic attacks that you could do. You only can attack via stickers. And I went, that was rage-inducing.
I like sticker attacks. You get a sticker, you get a sticker.
Well, it was the stickers were one use.
Well, there was 13 bucks down the toilet.
What else did you buy?
But
I bought all
was,
three of them.
but I was saying
they
Dread.
got 3 volumes.
Dread, I realize
on
now
sale.
it's
Get
come
all
out
three
4
for
years ago,
13?
so it's that might actually get replay in the near future because
No, screw that.
You know, well, a lot of those GameCube games could use some re-release.
that didn't make it quite yet.
Well,
They did re-release.
The controls were still a little soft at that point. They were still
Yeah.
a little not quite right.
So the,
Yeah.
I
question,
think a lot of games could be
Yeah,
so the
re-released.
question becomes, was the GameCube a success?
Bring back
Well, we
custom
didn't feel
Robo.
like it was back in our day.
Bring back custom Robo.
But
Back in
was it-
Target days.
But was it actually,
Yeah, probably was.
despite its reputation?
Well, it did better than many of the consoles we buy. So.
First console I bought that I actually bought the little portable screen that attaches to it, so that way.
So you could take
It
it,
was
with you
so
on the road
adorable.
somewhere, right?
Yeah, I also bought the cigarette lighter plug-in, so that way when we took long car trips to my grandma
could have
and
a smoke.
grandpa's,
Yeah.
I could actually play that because the car ride is 4.5 hours long.
There are actually some great games on GameCube.
Well, yeah, we go back to that.
We used to
but
play.
that was-
You know what? Monkey Ball was the thing on the game. We're
Yeah.
totally sidetracking, but
We are
Monkey Ball
totally,
was amazing.
totally sidetracking.
One there.
Something about Metroid Dread. It doesn't
That
require
one was
a lot
my
of
fault that time.
I think it was actually great. I
gameplay
agree.
discussion because it's similar to what everything had been.
It was
previously.
hard. It's hard.
There's
though.
some good puzzles. There's some
Yeah.
good, but
Wasn't
the whole
easy.
adventuring, going areas and coming back and having to go do things again because, hey, I can't get past that. That's. I always felt that's what Metroid was to begin with, anyways.
Yeah, they weren't kidding though.
Yeah. Except it's maybe a little bit easier now than the original Metroid because. You know,
I did
don't-
play some of the original because I had a copy of it and I just popped it in just to see and I'm like, oh yeah, okay,
Yeah.
it's not that hard, you know.
So.
Yeah, me and Rob just both bought the Forgotten Realms series.
Yeah, like 14
Forgotten
bucks down. 14
Dude.
bucks down for all. of them.
14. Oh, I thought you said $5 now.
All right,
It
so
was $5
then-
for just one,
then,
but I
Rob,
mean, I
you
get
need
them
to
all.
do yours.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm gonna do Doom 2016.
Oh,
Hey, I'm gonna say that
That's,
I don't really think there's any member of the Doom series that's very weak. I thought Doom 1 and 2
I mean,
obviously
Doom 1
are
was
classics.
like-
Yeah, obviously classics.
Broken
and-
open, man.
And 3 was brave enough to try something new, and I still
the
enjoyed it.
flashlight. People hate the.
Yeah, but
You know what?
the idea
That's
though.
Atari did that in the 2600 with the flashlight. That's not even new. People hated
Haunted
it.
house?
You have a flashlight.
People hated it
flashlight in
then.
Halo.
People hate flashlights.
We should
Stop
have
doing
done.
it.
We should have done like haunted house as one of them. Man. I'll tell you what, that latest one in the series is really good. Actually, it is. But anyway,
All right, Doom 16.
People
All right, so-
hate flashlights.
so yeah, so I actually did enjoy Doom. I just had a chance to play it on the live stream on Sunday, and Doom 3 actually was very excellent. I enjoyed it. It had a feeling of dread, scared them. You jump
Jump
sometimes.
scares,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's jump scares. Which
But that was one
holy
where
crap.
the more you played it, like, oh, the character's gonna, the bad guy's gonna. Pop
Yeah,
out
you
here,
start just
or,
looking for corners.
Like they're gonna pop out of here. They're gonna pop out of here.
It's
I
just
know
like-
I'm gonna turn
Just
around.
like you
You know
do
what?
at Universal. At
I know
the,
what you're talking about.
haunted houses.
2016.
Yeah, I know
But
you're
3 I
jumping
thought had
out
a
of
decent
there.
storyline because I think that's what they added to it.
The 2600 one?
26. No,
What are you talking
Doom
about?
3.
Doom 3? Yeah, they did add a lot of story to it.
Wait, so
All right,
which
so-
one?
So
Yeah.
all of a sudden in 2016, Doom returns. It returns
Okay.
to, a lot of people don't know this, but the first reviews were terrible.
Mhm.
And I tried it.
And most of them were yours.
I tried it. I said, "You sick bastards! This is the best thing I've ever played." It came out with the glory kill. You number one, not a gamepad game. I know people can do it. I get it. I can't. I have to use
Keyboard,
mouse and
mouse?
keyboard. Yeah, mouse and keyboard only for me. I know there's people who are like my son's really good with a gamepad, but not me. I had to use it, but I thought the level design was excellent. The graphics were excellent, but moreover, it wasn't Call of Duty, and it pissed me off so much when the first reviews came out because everything that was in those reviews was, "Oh, it's not Call of Duty," and I like Call of Duty, but I don't need more Call of Duty.
You already
I
have
wanna
Call of
Doom.
Duty. You
And
already
it-
have Call of
and it-
Duty.
Yeah, and
I want the Doom guy. I want the immortal slayer
And
that
in-
is effectively a
and
god
in
now.
2016, they brought Doom back, and it was Doom. It felt like Doom. You know,
Yeah.
the levels were crazy. The again, glory kills are the best goddamn thing ever. When you
Oh,
just
you
dive
turn-
on somebody, and just whack, and you get like all this great stuff for killing them.
Well,
And you had upgrades. They just did so much to the core mechanics, but it's still constant stuff beating the hell out of you. And I did like the
It's like
sequel to
bullet
it.
hell, but in like first person.
Yeah, it's hell.
Larry, you turn with glory kills. You turn people into ammo and health packs.
But
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember why
Glory
you
kill.
why you would want to do that rather than just like.
But it also had like a
shoot from
special
mile
effect that
away.
was like its special effects just brought it, they were fast. It wasn't showing off. I mean, it was showing off, but at the same time, it was part of the mechanic. You were constantly fighting. You didn't have that much time to think about the great glory kill you just did because something else was coming after your ass. It was great. It's one of the few games I finished I think I finished 75% of that in one sitting. I just nailed it. I finished. I went to the end, and that is the only Doom game I've ever finished. I finished
First
that
bullet
game.
was, well, my day's over.
But that's it. If you haven't played Doom, like the modern versions of Doom, they're great.
Oh.
They definitely captured Doom properly. It's still Doom, but it's running at 100 million frames per second. And I'm guessing it's what Doom was always meant to be in the first place. It controls great. It plays great. The original two Dooms remastered are amazing. They got it right. They didn't blur a bunch of
Thank
stuff. They
you.
didn't remaster everything. They said, "This is Doom, goddammit. We're just gonna make it control great." And it is. It's amazing.
All right, fine. We'll add
I-
jump.
I like
No, they should fuck
2016. I got to play a little bit of the new Doom that came out. My only complaint on it is because I'm used to shooters where I can actually figure out I'm very much either right up in front of someone's face with a shotgun, or as I prefer to be in the distance shooting people and doing that.
Nope, that's Call of Duty. That's not Doom.
That's Call of Duty, which
Doom is
I'm
get in your goddamn face and
which
kill him.
I'm okay with, but yet I can only do it for a short period of time because I feel like it takes so much mental resources and sugar and all that to be able to be like that.
Wow, you described it perfectly.
I
It
feel
is.
like I have to be tweaking on energy drinks and caffeine and everything to be able to do it, and which my brain can only go
It is absolutely the Pixie
45
Sticks of
minutes
gaming.
to an hour.
It is. It's the Pixie Sticks of gaming. It is 100% unending rev. It is what Doom always... And Doom, by the way, I am not taking away from the original Doom, but it is what Doom wanted to be. It is constant, in your face. You are going to be...
But
It's
it's
glorious.
Here's the thing,
Killing
though.
yourself.
Here's the other thing. I always kind of felt like Quake ended up being that.
Oh, Quake ended up being Doom 3.
It's gloriousness, but it's gloriousness that I can't play for an extended period of time. I have to play it for an hour,
That's it.
And then
I can't
get-
take no more. My hands are
and then
bleeding.
give it 2 days. But yet it's so good that I want to keep playing it. But I'm now getting frustrated because I'm getting.
If Doom was cracked, I'd be dead now. Because I just could not stop it. It was endless. It makes you die a lot, but you still feel so powerful going in. You know, and you've got to pace yourself. It got the Doom pacing correct, where sometimes you're just like mowing them down, and then other moments you're
And
just
then
like
you're being
overwhelmed.
mowed down.
Yeah, you're like running around in circles, just like, oh fuck, I am so screwed here. I wish I wouldn't have done that. Meaning, dove into the middle of this and got a million cacodemons to my face.
Hey, did you know that
Great
there's a
game.
glitch in the game where if you shoot off the BFG and then you rapidly click through the reticle screen on and off really quickly, the ball stops and slowly moves and does damage. So that way,
Oh, that's pretty
instead of
awesome.
it moving really quickly through, you can cause it to stop, and on bosses you can actually.
I don't know.
Slow
why
it down.
Why
It
does it
hesitates
glitch?
going through the boss and just.
It
Right.
hesitates going through the boss, and it's still doing ridiculous amounts of damage.
God damn, that was a good game. Good damn game.
So, bonus question for you,
Mm-hmm.
real quick, because you bring it up all the freaking time. Super Monkey Ball,
Yeah, it's a great game.
yeah, best one.
You know, honestly, the GameCube is the only one that I really got into heavily.
Because there are more than one.
Yeah, there are.
For sure.
And it's because it's where they really kind of bumped out that multiplayer on the GameCube. They started, and like Darlene and Jonah and I, we would like just go at that multiplayer constantly, and they had really. Monkey Ball's a fun game. Don't get me wrong, but when you get multiple players and you have this goal, and you're like just flying and just trying to bump each other off before you land, that's freaking great. Monkey Ball, kick ass shit. It's a good game, you know. And they still make it. It comes out every once in a while. It just,
Right,
you
that's
know.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They're-
I've got it on my Switch.
Because Switch plays
Yeah, it
everything.
plays
Switch plays everything.
It does. Will the Switch 2? I don't know.
Did
Did they
we
Wii
may
U
never
it?
know.
Are we
The
gonna
Wii
get
U?
No.
Is it the Wii U?
Oh,
Maybe. But I'll buy it anyway because I'm a
That's just
sucker.
sneak into
the
Canada to
Switch?
get
The
it.
Switch 2.
Yes.
Are we going to even get it?
Yeah, well, that's more to the point. All right, let's
Will I
wrap
ever
this.
get another Evercade game again? I don't know.
Let's wrap this mess
Unless you
up.
fly to Europe.
Oh God.
Let's
I
go-
might.
We'll go to Japan again and let our suitcases full again.
They don't have Evercade. They don't care.
No, but they have a lot of other good stuff we bought
Japanese.
back.
No, I haven't. Let's go to
I
Europe.
like-
We're going to Europe. G2B in Europe.
I
Way!
was-
We're like going through all the Evercade stuff. They're all pissed at
we
the
should-
Americans. Like
we
we
bought
bought all the
all-
Evercade stuff.
We should go to Europe.
We're at like Funstock headquarters. Like, damn it! What,
Yeah.
what do you think Funstock headquarters look like? I think it's like this little tiny ass office.
I'm
with,
sure
like,
it
a
is.
big- yeah.
I'm sure it is.
An old person going,
Why did a bunch of guys break in here with beer going, let us see your shit? Heck,
we demand Evercades!
heck, there's one person in here saying they'll lift their kilt if they don't supply us with it.
Guys are just like Atari age. Just the same goddamn people. Which is epic, by the way.
Thank you.
Because they all look like Jeff Minter.
They do actually.
God, I love them people.
All right, Rob, take us out
All
of
right.
this mess.
Well, that was a great episode.
I think we covered a lot of good topics.
Solid
Guys,
episode.
some good game suggestions there. If you and we've given you the best ones in each series to play. So, what good advice is that? Not only can you find some maybe series you may not have played, we told you what the best one is.
But-
Yeah, hell with those other ones.
But please do play the original Doom. If you've never played the original Doom, it is so accessible now. It is not the game that was released when I got it, which I thought was
Can
epic.
I play it on my
It is
vacuum
still
cleaner?
epic. It's a great game, probably.
Probably.
But not
Oh, the
well.
original Dooms?
The original Dooms in their modern version,
Yeah,
their modern
they're great.
remasters are amazing. They are just so good. And you can play them on the Switch.
There you
Yeah,
go.
well-
'Cause everything's
Multiplayer, I
on the
think.
Switch.
Multiplayer, nice.
I think they added
That's
multiplayer in the
so
last.
Nice.
It's like,
Have you
how
ever
much
played
own
a
a
multiplayer?
Doom? Like, no. But
Oh my
it was
god,
like-
it's just a kill fest. It's just people running around like maniacs, like throwing shit.
So
at each
Sarah
other.
Quake
It's great.
Yeah, it's like Quake.
Just run around and kill.
You don't reload in Doom 1 and 2,
No,
you know. You
here's
just
what-
keep
here's
going.
The problem with it is,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no reload.
Doom was
Not till
all
3.
fine and everything, but Dark Forces was so much better.
What do you mean 8 megs of RAM or 4? Was it
Yeah,
4?
that is the
Yes,
interesting.
people returning the game because they didn't
It
have
looked
memory.
blurry on my
Forces.
3DFX.
Doom 1.
Oh, this is messy.
You
Yeah.
don't reload. You have a double barrel shotgun, but yet at no point do you see him ever.
Yeah.
You're just like kapow, kapow, kapow. I'm like, how many barrels does this double barrel shotgun have?
It turns out you don't really actually see it. It's a Gatling gun double barrel.
Rotate those
Wow,
barrels around.
wow, wow. Just keep firing until you run out. There we go. You actually have a reloader. It's like this little guy that jumped up. You never see him. You never see
Yeah,
him.
when it drops to the bottom.
Hey, before you take
you
it
don't
out,
see the little guy.
we should probably talk about what's coming up.
In about 4 weeks.
About 4 weeks.
Is MWP coming up?
Yeah, 4 weeks, dude.
That fast?
That fast.
That is when we will be mad with power. Fast.
Well done.
Taking over the second
Do not.
floor.
By the way, search for Mad with Power Fest, not Mad with Power, because that's actually a band.
Yeah. So yeah, guys,
Not a bad band.
we
by
are
the way.
4 weeks out.
Isn't that clear?
The lineup is amazing.
Fast.
If you haven't gotten your tickets, grab. I had not bought my tickets until last night. I got my tickets last night. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, get your tickets for it. Lineup's great. Like Ryan
Yeah,
just
I
said,
mean,
we
read
are the
this out.
second floor. So we
And
literally.
everybody can go to the second floor.
Thank you for
Don't
mentioning
listen to
that.
security.
No,
Just
the-
don't sit in the seats.
Yeah,
That's
you can't sit in the seats. That's reserved for various levels.
Right.
The bar is literally
Yeah.
on the second
Yeah,
floor.
But
guess what you can get easy on the second floor? A beer and
you.
play
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Because the main bar downstairs might be busy.
You can hang out with us, and there is actually a standing room area that is accessible
Yeah, on the
to
second
see
floor.
the stage on the second floor. That is open to
Yeah.
everybody.
It's
Yeah.
like it's like a
So-
row or two behind the seats.
It
on
is.
the
It's a row
left,
behind.
Yeah,
it's a
it's
little
very nice.
up,
Seriously.
It's actually.
I've
really
been there for
nice.
another
Yeah.
show, and it was like, this is where I'm gonna stand.
Nice.
I don't think people know to go up there to
You
stand.
can actually, you're not looking over other people's heads.
Yeah.
Sylvie's set up nicely as
The
far as
ceiling
angling.
is a
but
beautiful
it's-
venue.
You
but
can
that-
literally
but you get-
hear
you
from
get-
anywhere, too.
You get such
Well,
a
that's
great
true.
view of the stage from
Yeah.
that standing area up there. The view of the stage is freaking awesome from up there. But check us out, Matt with Power. We're going to be there. We've got all sorts of new things we're bringing. A lot of old favorites returning.
For sure.
So, again, we have got some new surprises this year.
Well, for sure in the light gun area, we will have a Saturn for the first time.
I know.
Ever.
Hey.
So the Saturn will make an appearance with
Be
virtual
one of the
drive.
best light gun
I don't-
game systems ever made.
It really wasn't bad.
I mean, I've
If
been
you go to
playing
Japan.
the hell out of Virtual Cop 2, and it's pretty fun.
it's a solid game, yeah. So all sorts of cool stuff.
Underrated.
Again, we have some new surprises this year in the lineup, so check out some of the new stuff we're bringing. What else is going on with Man with Power?
Well, I mean, so they always will encourage. It's a 2-day event, and the morning, Saturday morning, a lot of people will meet up, and there's
Yeah.
a farmer's market fairly nearby, and we'll all meet up, and we'll just crush the cheese curds.
Yeah, so
It
literally,
is not a small farmer's market.
No.
It's
No,
a
it's not
really,
a farmer's
really,
market.
really large.
it's the entire area around the capital.
Yeah, I mean, and it's around the capital of Madison, so you have no idea.
Crazy.
Wow. I mean, crazy. So the farmers market's interesting on its own.
But the people.
But there's a chance that you might be purchasing your cheese curds as the naked run goes by.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
It's a bike ride. It wasn't a run.
There's,
All right,
they were
naked
on
bikes.
bikes.
No, they were on all kinds of shit.
That's
They
true.
were on scooters. They
There's
were
a lot of
I
naked
know.
going on in Madison.
I
There's
know.
naked protesters.
There were naked
Yes,
protesters.
naked-
I have done a naked run before, but I would not put my balls straight on a bike seat.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Oh, you just turned
Those
over
guys
and
were
your
on.
ass.
Those guys were on.
No,
skateboards.
thank you on that one either.
It's great. It's great. You're
So
having
the
a good
point
time.
is, there you know, it's Madison, Wisconsin. It gets a little weird.
It's a lot of fun.
It gets a little
It's a lot of
weird.
fun.
In the
whole
best
thing,
way
the whole thing
possible.
about bum rushing the farmers market to try to buy out all the cheese graters.
And that's just part of being Madison.
And the really
Yeah.
great thing is you're supporting local businesses.
Hell yes,
Yeah.
even better, even
So-
better. But it's the
As
show,
is Man with Power Fest, a local
the
business.
show is going to be amazing. Get your tickets. There still are. I think they're all out of VIG and the.
Yeah, I
silver
think
gold.
there's a few silvers.
Oh, there's a couple silvers
there,
left?
there
Okay.
are there are definitely general available, and so I mean a lot of good bands if you like power metal.
Yeah.
So power metal is primarily what it is. But I tell you what, I'm looking forward to the dreaded crew of Oddwood.
I know.
You know, this is a band I've seen at several Ren fairs. You know, at multiple different Ren fairs around the country, and to hear them with a full PA system and
Should be
everything,
amazing.
yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
I cannot wait to drink with them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, ooh, I would like that too.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. We plan to drink heavily with them. I got a feeling. Exactly. I got a feeling these gentlemen and group can drink. So check us out there.
But there's no way they're going to come up and visit the bar next to the arcade.
They might.
We had more than a few bands hang out. What
Yeah.
was the one by the British band that just kind of stayed up there
Well,
all
you're-
weekend?
Oh, Fellowship.
Fellowship.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of just
Fellowship.
came up
Yeah,
and
but
gamed
that-
and drank with us all weekend long.
I think they invite us to go to their pub.
To the
or
pub in
whatever.
England, yes.
Yeah. We still have to
Like
get
4
there.
years ago, I lost almost the entire show because I started talking to a band. And they were like, God,
Bands are
and they're
more
really-
accessible than at a lot of
Yeah.
shows.
That's another
so-
good point. The bands mingle at this show. They're
Yeah,
out. They're out
so-
in the audience.
so-
They're playing games with us. They're playing games downstairs.
Right, I mean, there's kind of something for them to do, so you might just see them at a pinball. you know?
Not might.
Probably will.
You're going to see them in a pinball machine playing a game. You're going to see them upstairs on the video games by us. There's just so
They
much.
don't want
to
to
do.
sit in the green room all
No,
day.
exactly. Who wants to just be?
I mean, not when there's crap available.
Exactly. There's stuff,
Yeah.
and that's the beauty of Mad with Power. It's not just music, and not that the music isn't freaking amazing. There is just so much to do.
Yeah.
There are some vendors there. Check out the vending area. I mean, I cannot say just enough good things. Get your tickets. Get them. You got 4 weeks, but don't wait. Get them now because
Get yourself a record. Get yourself an old LP.
Yeah. so and definitely come out and say hi to us and have a beer with us. Buy us a beer.
Yeah, for sure.
Buy us a beer.
Yeah. We'll probably have blue hats on.
Maybe.
Maybe.
If we remember.
What, we have different hats now? No.
I still got mine in my car. I'm like, maybe I'll just use it
I don't think
then.
it's,
Larry's
oh,
filling
I'm
the
sorry.
third.
Koi?
Koi.
I don't.
Something
You
like
have to
that.
clean yours, don't you?
Like the fish.
Your hat.
What? Am I? Yeah, it's a little muddy now.
A little money now. All right, Rob, finish taking us out of this mess.
All right, thank you very much for watching Guys, Games, and Beer. This is every episode is brought to you by Lionheart Racing. Lionheart Racing, all the joys of racing without the rubber hot dogs. And
I didn't have a rubber hot dog last weekend.
oh, you did?
I don't know
You
why
are
you did.
so missing out.
I had lots of.
Dude.
I woke up with dirt in my ears the next day though.
Ryan went
cleaning
to
my
his
ears,
first
I'm like,
race.
What? It's not wax. It's freaking dirt.
Yeah, no, you gotta take a shower the next day after third track.
Yeah, dirt track. Yeah. Yeah. All
You
right.
should probably get.
What you won't
You
get
should
if
probably get a high cologne.
if you're watching Lionheart Racing, you don't have to worry about dirt in your ears the
You
next
don't.
day.
You don't have to worry about that.
You don't. If you're interested in Guys, Games, and Beer, the Guys, Games, and Beer Central Nerve is located at www.guysgamesandbeer.net, where you can link over to everything, including Facebook, where you've got the dangest of memes by Master of Memeology,
Yeah.
Dallas.
Oh, that's right.
You know, we all contribute
not
to
here.
to it every once in a while too, and you get.
I pop a few things.
But I
in
will
there.
say that Dallas are absolutely the ones that make you lose sleep at night.
Yeah, there are
he's
things
really
you'll never
good.
unsee.
I sometimes laugh and I can't tell my coworkers what I'm laughing
What are you laughing at?
Never mind.
This? And they go, oh.
and they scream.
HR. I gotta go to HR.
I mean, to be fair, there's what Cthulhu does to a person, and there's what Dallas's memes do to a person. They're really close, you know. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
All right, thank you all. I hope you all have a great